Everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with y'all a stock that is about to make a big move next week and why all of you should keep it in your watch list. We're also going to address the overall market because the market sold off on Friday. And right now, it's not looking too good. So let's dive into it. Alright, y'all. Let's dive into the charts right off the bat. We got the NASDAQ futures once again. And I warned you guys on Wednesday night that if the structure was to fail completely, or I would say the way the structure would fail completely was if we closed below 480 on QQQ. Below this level of below this level of support that I drew from here to here. All right, the line was quite clear. And then at the end of the day on Wednesday, this broke down. And intraday, if you look on a 5-minute and we zoom out, there was a bearish pennant that broke down right at the close, which led to the ultimate demise of QQQ. All right, the break of the pre-market low was the confirmation for a short for an all-day fader, and it went all the way down to 470, which doesn't really surprise me at all, given the fact that the price action was looking the way it did, and because that structure also failed. Now, are we going to get a rebound? Is this the part where we see strong move tomorrow because the news has been announced? At least some news have been announced. It's not quite the 2nd of April yet, all right? But the market is waiting for that news regarding the tariffs to pop out. Right now, the way I see this thing, I think this might just be a liquidity grab. Meaning, there are some dip buyers who are located. I'm going to clean up the chart. Dip buyers are located right here. I'm going to put that in green right there. All right. And I'm sure their stop losses is a little bit below it at around like 18,800. That's what I think. And typically with liquidity grabs, for those of you who are not familiar with that specific concept, meaning the market would kind of go lower and break right below this level and even get below the stop losses, triggering that just to spring back up right here before we have a bullish month of April. All right, that's what I'm talking about. This segment, this section right here from 19,200 all the way down to 19,000 exactly. That is where the liquidity is. So liquidity grab is pretty much like a almost like a bear trap essentially. So that's the thesis that I have right now, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Again, look for day trading opportunities because the bulls lost control on Wednesday when they closed below that line, below the SMA. That's where they lost control. All right, so there isn't any confirmation yet. All right, but for Monday, I do think we're gonna dip just a little bit lower. Right now we are at negative 1.22. I think we can drop. I definitely think we can drop. Now let's look at one stock. Let's look at the stock for tomorrow, and that stock is going to be. Let me change it to the 3-minute. That stock is going to be Snow. All right. Now with Snow, the reason why I want to share this one with y'all is because of this. When we look at the daily time frame, first and foremost, it's been on a drop. All right, it popped up a little bit after this earnings, 2 earnings ago. It went up to 195, and now it's been dumping with the market throughout the past month and a half. What it left behind is a giant gap that has to get taken care of eventually. Like this gap right here. All right, this is worrisome. And I told you before, 90% of all gaps get filled at some point in time, right? And it broke down on Friday, but most importantly, if we look at the 4-hour time frame, there is a bear flag on the chart right here, right there. All right, a bear flag that broke down on Friday, and right now it's opening lower at 147. And typically with this, a bear flag should drop all the way down to, I think it's gonna go real low. I think it's gonna go to at least 135, either by tomorrow or by Tuesday, especially if the market continues to sell off like we've been seeing throughout the past few days. So keep snow in your radar. All right. Now I did say that I'm going to share one stock with you, but there is another stock or another sector that I think I talked about in the last video. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But it's MU, and MU has a small problem on there. Like the issue that I have with MU is that it has big moves. It provides nice opportunity right here. But in order for the stock to truly commit to the upside, it gotta take care of unfinished business, which is right here. This unfinished business right there, this gap at $81, it hasn't gotten filled. It tried to get filled here in August of last year, and then again in September, and then again earlier like in December and January, it tried to do it again. It just couldn't. Right? That has bothered me for so long that it didn't even fill it before going. And I think before we truly get that commitment from MU to get above 120, before we even think about taking care of this gap above right here at 127, the one at 80 gotta fill first. That's what I think. All right, so he's been playing games for months, but I think the time for us to see this thing take care of the gap, I think it's near. It's approaching. I think we might see that gap get filled this week, and that is from what, 87 all the way down to 81. So there's a lot of room to make a lot of money on puts. The puts can either double or do a or maybe go up by 150%, depending on how fast it drops this week. So keep MU on your radar as well. All right. Now let's look at other stocks like Palantir, because it's been a while. Now with Palantir, this one, the structure failed. Again, when I make these videos, I like to tell you guys what it's not supposed to do, because when something that's not supposed to happen happens, the drop can be catastrophic. Again, because I told you guys, the stop loss for anybody who bought here at 90 is right under the line, and it's not supposed to get under it. Unfortunately for the stock, it definitely did. Like, it closed below 90 on Thursday afternoon. That is failure. Even if it's by 1 cent below the line, I consider that failure. All right, and ultimately this thing continued to collapse with the market. Next level to watch for is 870, 78, 80, yeah, from 85 all the way down to 78. Let's see how it behaves. I think it can get down there. So this is another one to keep on your radar as well, because the structure has failed, and also it's rolling over on the daily. Are there gaps below? Yes, there is, all the way down to 44, but that's kind of aggressive. I don't have that kind of expectation for this week at all. We might just see a retest of 75, and then it's gonna play games before trying to bounce back up. If my thesis about the liquidity grab with the Nasdaq comes true, then we will see a move back up in April for Palantir. All right, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Again, I tell you guys constantly, take things day by day and look for intraday structures. Now, the last one that we're going to look at is obviously Tesla. Obviously, like, we gotta check this one out. And with Tesla had, I think it had a bearish structure on Friday. Yeah, it did. It did. A sloppy close. Like, the structure was cooking bearish. It broke down and almost kind of like had a fake out before falling anyways. Right? So the breakdown happened here. And then this is the fake out to 240 to 265. And now it's like behaving. So this is annoying. Obviously, if you had puts, like if you bought puts right here and you like close your eyes and just ignore the market until the close, this thing is behaving the way it's supposed to behave. Despite this nonsense that happened in the last like 5 minutes. All right, with this thing, I think like 250 is not too much. It's 250 is right where it's supposed to go, and it's right at support again. I think it's gonna stall at this level. If you have puts on there, you may want to cover here, because I think it's going to go sideways from this point. That's what I think. Do I still believe that 217 is the bottom? Yes, I do. I will be shocked if this thing was to drop below that level. I would be shocked to see that. I don't think it's gonna happen. I really don't. So this gap on the left might get filled. Again, this is what, 249. Yeah, this might get taken care of. Again, still at support, so that could get taken care of, and then we're gonna see some chop, and then the market could find a bottom before bouncing back up. But I do think this is the bottom for Tesla. That's my honest thoughts on all of these stocks, and that is the end of the video. Do not forget to annihilate the like button. As always, I make these videos from Sunday to Thursday at exactly 8 p.m. Central Time, so definitely click on that subscribe button and click on that notification bell. That way you don't miss out on future uploads. If you'd like to be part of a private Discord community where you can get all of this information in real time as I see them, you can find that as the first link in the description of the video below. Also, don't forget to follow my social media at Paul Nguyen at Patternology on Instagram and on X. Alright, once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Patternology Lab, where we trade patterns and patterns only. And I will see all of you in the next video, which might be tomorrow. Obviously, y'all see I'm not in my office right now. I'm away from my office, so I might make a video tomorrow, maybe. If not, then it's gonna be on Tuesday night at 8.